Okay, welcome back to the Conscious Creator podcast. And this one is about unicorns versus workhorses. So, what do I mean by that? When it comes to being out in the world as a teacher, a healer, a guide, maybe you're some kind of content creator, we look out at the world and we go, okay, that person just skyrocketed to success. What the heck? It seems like I have to work so hard. In my experience, we've got the unicorns, which who take, for example, Eckhart Tolle. You know, he woke up in the middle of the night, had a massive breakthrough and awakening, and then he skyrocketed to popularity with one book, reaching millions of people. I got my initial awakening at 16 from reading his book, The Power of Now, in the year 2000, right? And he's made an enormous amount of money, made an enormous impact. What a beautiful, purpose-driven life he's gotten to live, right? And he didn't get some degree in marketing. He wasn't savvy in any way, shape, or form. I've talked to people who've worked with him, and he's just who he is on and off camera. And so, in a sense, he's a unicorn. Now, the bigger context of that, who knows? It's, they say overnight success usually happens after like 10 years of hard work. So it seems in one way overnight, in another way, he was teaching and he had a degree in psychology. And so he did have a background in this world, but he had one huge shift and one huge book. So in that way, he's a unicorn to me. Then there are the people who, I won't say who the person's name is, but I saw one guy on Insight Timer. He did so many Insight Timer lives. It's a meditation app if you don't know, and they have a live component where people are teaching on their live. And he became popular just by grinding it out, teaching live 1,000 times over and over, building his student base, one student at a time. That to me would be a workhorse. I was on my friend Lou Redmond's podcast once, who's a teacher on Insight Timer, and he introduced me as the hardest working guy in meditation, which I'm not sure if that's a compliment or not. Lou, I would definitely consider myself a workhorse. And to be a workhorse is not necessarily negative. I like to put in energy and effort and work hard and master different aspects of teaching and business building and team management and content creation. For some people, they have an epic anxiety attack when they even hear all those words. But I truly enjoy the challenge in the way some people like building puzzles or working on cars or, doing something. I have a friend who works in his garage and does woodworking. He builds these beautiful things. I prefer doing that in this world, and I enjoy it. So the work is pleasurable, and as it should be. My friend Sarah Blondin, I don't know if she would agree with this, but in some sense, she's a unicorn to me. Just an incredible confluence of forces, of timing, of energy. She has this beautiful energy, beautiful voice, incredible writing. If you've never read her Substack, it's just it's profound. Every single blog post is profound, and so she just kind of has it. There's certain people in the world that got it. Maybe it's past lives. Not just 10 years lead to overnight success, but 10 lifetimes or 10,000 lifetimes. Someone's born and they're ready to pop out of the oven. It's like bing. Whereas other people, they got to really go hard through each step, learn each lesson, put in an enormous amount of sweat, blood, and tears. So yes, I would consider myself a workhorse. I also got lucky. As a teacher, I got on Insight Timer early when there was only a few hundred teachers. I put out a decent amount of content, and I built a student base on there. And so there was a mixture of hard work, mastery and timing, which is usually the case in life. And I still put in a lot of work. Now, if I shared my calendar with you, you'd see it was actually mostly empty. So I don't have like days full of meetings. I do a tiny bit, a little bit of one-on-one like consulting, coaching work with some students. So maybe I'll do like two people a week, something like that. On a Thursday or Friday, I'll sit with somebody for an hour. And the rest of the time, I'm really creating content. Maybe I'm writing, recording, or teaching a live class. But I would say more than 90% of my calendar, in terms of like the workday, is actually empty. And I've built a structure and a system with my team that allows me to have that so I could focus. But to get there took a lot of work. And I'll do an episode on how to build a team, how to do it without a lot of money, and how to scale that way. Because it is really important that you free up your time so that you can be in your genius zone and create in the way that's going to have an impact on the world and not just be doing a whole bunch of administrative tasks all day that don't fulfill you. Um, and so, if you're asking the question, am I a unicorn? The answer is probably no. If you were, it's something that kind of just pops, or maybe you will be, and it just hasn't happened yet. And so, if you're more of a workhorse like me, grind it out, and in a positive way. You know, if you want to chisel your body and be in super good shape, and you want to put in all that energy and effort, it can be enjoyable, and the fruits of your labor could be a longer, healthier life. Same with meditation, and the same with conscious creation in business, entrepreneurship, maybe as a teacher. So I don't see that being a workhorse is negative. Might have certain lessons to learn that deepen you into who you're becoming. So, and it creates a kind of resilience, right? A steadfastness. So, uh, whether your rise into your purpose and success is meteoric, is that the right word? How do you say that? Or if it's 1,000 steps up the Pyramid of Giza, slowly but surely. I think either way is admirable, but it is good to know, what path you're on. And if you need to put in the energy and effort every single day, your 10,000 hours, and that's how it's going to flower, well then know that and do that. It's okay. And if you're not willing to put in the time and energy, then this path might not be the one for you. There might be an alternative way to go. So, unicorns and workhorses, both equally great. I know one seems easier, but they both have their different challenges. So last thing, if you're a unicorn maybe and you all of a sudden you go from zero to hero and you got millions of people listening to you every day, that could be a lot of energy and pressure. I remember working with a teacher who had a meteoric rise like that and broke down crying because they couldn't handle all the energy and the attention. They weren't quite ready for it. It's like going from zero sea level up to Everest, 29,000 feet, and you can't breathe because you got up there so fast. And so even with a unicorn rise, there's a whole new level of challenge that might come with that. What do I do with the attention, the energy, the money, the responsibility, the awesome responsibility of all the people that I'm reaching? Maybe you build a business and it grows and it has a gazillion dollars and you've got that kind of rise. And what do I do with all this capital and these resources? How do I want to affect change in the world? Right. So unicorns, workhorses, we're all in the same family on the same journey. Enjoy it. Thanks for being here with me on this one. And I hope you create whatever you're working on creating consciously and have fun doing it. See you soon.